I just finished one ear and I'm going to start on the second one. This is the yarn I'm using, acrylic, yellow. Really like this color. Scrap yarn turtle, it turned out really cute. I have 4 of these right now. Hello, I'm Sarah from Me Crochet and I crochet plushies. It's a new week and in the last video I said I wanted to do some granny squares and I did that. I finished one. It's really beautiful. I think I can do the pattern out of my head, and I'm going to make a cardigan out of this, but I will have to make some more granny squares. But it's a long-term project I do in between other projects. This is the yarn I'm using, acrylic, yellow. Really like this color. I am going to start on Ivysaur next. I want to finish the head and then sew it onto its body. So I want to do that. I'm going to grab the Ivysaur project and then finish off the head and sew it onto the body. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to close this one up and then I am going to sew it onto the body. So I'm going to grab my pattern and I'm going to start on it and I will see you when this part is finished. I finished off the head and it's closed. So I'm going to sew this onto the body of Ivysaurs. Then I'm going to take a lunch break. This is left over from the head. And now I can start on the ears with this yarn. I hope I have enough for 2 ears because I don't want to use the other yarn balls. So we'll see. If I have to use the other ones I will, but I hope I have enough with this one. But doing the ears will be for later. I am going to sew the head on and then I'm going to take a lunch break. So see you in the next clip. I just sewed on the head, on the body. It's huge. I have the body and the head sewed together. And I'm going to take a lunch break and I will update you in the next clip on what I'm doing next. So, bye! Hello, there's a time skip. I just had dinner and I am going to grab a crochet project and crochet for the rest of the night. Emotional supportive chicken, the kit I got from the shop that's closing, and I am grabbing Ivysaur. Over there are turtles. That's also a project for later on. But I'm going to continue on Ivysaur. I hope I can finish the ears tonight. And maybe start on the leaves. I just grabbed the crochet project and I'm going to crochet and listen to some YouTube while I'm crocheting. So I'm going to update you in the next clip on how far I've come. I just finished one ear and I'm going to start on the second one. Maybe start on the leaves next. But first finish one other ear and then I will see what I'm going to do next. So I just finished the 2 ears and I'm not going to sew them onto the head. I am going to do that later after I finish the leaves. I need the measurement for sewing on the ears and flower. So I'm going to start on the leaves next and I will update you on how far I've come in the next clip. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish one leaf tonight, but I am going to try and start on one. So see you in the next clip. I'm going to stop for right now. I started on the first leaf of this project. I have to do 7 more. So I have a lot to do, but I'm going to stop for right now and I will update you in the next clip on what I'm doing next. We are halfway through the week. I did crochet more on Ivysaur's leaves. In the last clip I was working on number 1. Right now I have 2 finished and I have to make 6 more of these and then sew them on top of each other to make 4 leaves so I can put wire in between. So that's what I'm going to do for later. But I wanted to update you on that I finished 2. So I made a lot of progress on Ivysaur. For right now I want to stuff this bear and I have all the parts ready, and if I stuff it I can finish it off and sew everything on its place. So I'm going to do that for right now and see from there what I'm going to do. So I just finished the bear. Isn't it adorable? I really like how it turned out. It's really cute. Really like it with its tail. It's so cute with a pink bow. I embroidered the eyes and snout, so I think I'm going to continue on a granny square, and after that I will see what I do next. So, but this is the bear, it's finished. I used Katona for this project, really great yarn, cotton, really like it. And I'm going to continue on a granny square. So see you in the next clip. Hello! I finished the granny square I said I was going to do, and now I think I'm going to continue on Ivysaur's leaves. I think I'm going to continue on that. Hello! It's getting pretty late. I am going to stop for right now. I am pretty far on the 3rd leaf of Ivysaur, so I think I have to do like a half and then this one will be finished. So I'm going to stop for right now and maybe continue tomorrow on this project. I'm not sure, but I will update you in the next clip. So, hello, it's the next day and I hope I can finish this guy today. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I will update you in the next clip on how far I've come or what I'm going to do next. So see you in the next clip. I just finished the 3rd leaf and I'm going to start on the 4th. And I hope I can make some progress on that, but I don't think I'm going to finish it today. We'll see how far I come with the projects. But I'm going to start on the 4th of the leaves. Hello, I have to stop for right now. This is how far I got on the 4th leaf of Ivysaur, and I hope I can crochet tonight again, but I will update you in the next clip on what I will be doing next. Hello, it's the next day and I just had dinner. So I am going to continue on Ivysaur's leaves. And I'm at number 4, so I'm going to continue on this one. I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight, but maybe I will do the half of it. I'm not sure how far I've come, but after that I might want to continue on the week challenge. I haven't been doing much on that, but I also want to do that today or tonight. But first this one, and then I will see how far I come with the other project. I just finished 4 leaves of Ivysaur. I am going to start on the 5th a little bit, and then I'm going to see what I'm doing next. So, bye! Hello! I started on number 5 of Ivysaur's leaves. And I am going to take a break. I'm not going to crochet for the rest of the night. I think I'm going to maybe crochet tomorrow, but I will update you in the next clip on what I will be doing next. It's the next day and I just had dinner and took a shower. I am going to grab my crochet project and crochet for the rest of the night. I'm going to continue on my blanket. Let's grab it. And I hope I can finish week 8 tonight. I hope so. Let's crochet. I just grabbed the crochet project. I'm using this yarn acrylic for this project and I'm going to continue on week 8 of the blankets. So I'm going to crochet. Hello, it's kind of late and I finished week 8 of the blanket. I'm going to stop for right now and prepare for tomorrow. It's a new week. I'm going to show you all I've made last week and grab a snack, a drink and enjoy this video. You can subscribe if you want. You can like if you want, and let's get started on this video. The first project I started on was my granny square cardigan and I made a granny square for it. I'm not sure which number I'm at the moment, but I finished one in the beginning of the week. Then I finished the head of Ivysaur and sewed it onto its body. I finished the head and sewed it onto its body and it's all sewed on nicely. Really like how it turned out. It's a huge head, but it's finished. That's what I continued on in the beginning of this week. I had to wait for the stuffing, but that came and I am happy with how the body and head are sewed on. So I did a lot of progress on Ivysaur. Later I finished 2 ears of Ivysaur and I used this yarn. Soft Fun. This is left over. I don't think I need more blue, so I have 2 yarn skeins over. So I have leftovers. But I'm going to make something else with it later. But I haven't finished Ivysaur just yet, so I want to do that first and see how much I have left over from the yarn. We'll see. I did more on Ivysaur because after the ears I started on the leaves of Ivysaur. I have to make 8. I finished 1 leaf, 2 leaves, 3 leaves and 4 leaves. I have 4 in total finished. So I'm really happy with that. I'm at the half of the leaves. I have to do 4 more and I hope I can start on it this week, but I'm not sure just yet. Then I did another granny square for my cardigan and I have a second one, so I made 2 this week. Not a lot of progress, but still some. Then I finished on the last day of April my pattern bear. This is the second one with a pink little bow. It turned out really cute. I really like it. I embroidered the eyes because I wanted to see how it looks. With its tail, it turned out really cute. I really like how it turned out. And this is what I finished. So I'm really happy with that. After that, I continued, I think, on the leaves of Ivysaur because I wanted to continue on that a lot this week. But this one I finished. I think it's the first project from this week finished. Yeah, I think it is. Like I said, I did the leaves of Ivysaur and after that I started on the blanket. I made some progress on it, but not as much as I wanted in the beginning of the week. So I did continue on it at the end of the week. Really happy with that as well. In between big projects, I made another little tiny scrap yarn turtle. It turned out really cute. I have 4 of these right now. Yeah, they're tiny and cute. I really like this guy with its color change shell. So cute. Yeah, number 4. Then I started on number 5 of Ivysaur's leaves. And this is the yarn I'm using, Soft Fun. and it's Pickle. The name is Pickle from this yarn. It's a really great color, I really like it, and it's great for the leaf. So I have enough, I think, of this yarn. So I have to make 4 more. I have to finish this one and then I have to make 3. After I started number 5 of the leaves, I took a little break from Ivysaur. I wanted to do something else and I continued on the blanket. Right now I'm at week 9 from the blanket, so I've made a lot of progress on that as well. I'm really happy with that. It was a bit tricky to finish week 8, but I finished it, so I'm happy with that, and I'm going to start on week 9. Maybe I am going to do a different project this week. Maybe I'm going to continue on it, but I don't think I'm going to finish week 9 in this week. I'm not sure how the week is going, but I was a bit burned out on week 8, so maybe taking this project a little bit slower. And of course the week challenge. We have a week challenge and I was doubting I would finish it. I was really worried, but I did finish it and it turned out really cute. Look at that, it's a bird. I really like it. It's so cute. It's so adorable. I really like how it turned out, and it has flappy wings. Its butt. It's so cute. I really like how it turned out. And I use scrap yarn for this. I have some blue left. And I use some saffron for the dark blue. Very little bit. So I have a lot of saffron left over. I have some light blue left over. And I think I'm going to try and make a very little bird out of it from a book Mini Minis. Of mini vogeltjes haken. I really don't know which of the two it is, but I want to make a tiny bird with the same yarn I'm using for this bird, because I want to use up the scrap yarn. So that will be for later this week. Maybe I'm making it a week challenge for this week. But this is the week challenge finished from last week, and it turned out really cute. I really like it. It's so huge. I didn't think I would finish it, but I did. I'm so happy with it. It's so cute. And that's the last project I finished of this week. And it's also the last project I did continue on. So if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. It's a new week and I'm going to show you all I've made from last week. And we're going to start with the week challenge. I finished it. Isn't it adorable? A little bird. And it's so cute. I still had some scrap yarn left over, so I had that for later on in the week to make another one. And I made this guy. Isn't it adorable? I really like the two. I like this one better, I think. But I ran out of the light blue and used the dark blue for the wings. But it's also very cute. I like them both. They're so cute. This is acrylic. Scrap yarn acrylic. And I already placed the label in the basket for the end of the year. So that's in the basket. This is the yarn I used for the nose. Beak, how you call it, and for the wings of the other one. And I still have a lot of leftover, so I'm not really counting that as used yarn, but I used up the light blue scrap yarn, so I'm happy with that. Aren't they adorable? I really like them. On the book it looks really weird, but in real it's very cute. I really like how the plushie turned out. I really like it. It's from the book Mini Vogeltjes haken. Really like this kind of book style because it's for scrap yarn. Very useful. So want to make more out of these. That was the week challenge I finished. So I did more. I did extra, but I really like the result. In the beginning of the week I started a lot of projects. I started the bunnies. And I started Ivysaur's leaf number 5. And I started on week 9 of the blanket. And later on in the week I finished the bunny one. It turned out really cute. I really like how it turned out. It's really cute. I'm going to make an entire rainbow out of these. Yeah, I'm going to make. But I want to make 2 more out of the orange, and then I'm going to green because I already have the yellow. And I'm going to make an entire rainbow. Yellow is on the other side. I think they're turning out very cute. I really like them. Yay! And again, I'm using Soft Fun orange. After the bunny, I finished leaf number 5 from Ivysaur. And I started on number 6. I didn't finish it, but I got really far on number 6. This is how far I got. I'm halfway. So that's really good. Maybe I can finish it today. I'm not sure. Maybe later on. We'll see. But that's leaf number 6 of Ivysaur. I have to make 2 more later on. And again, I'm using Soft Fun, but then a dark green. I think it was called Pickle. Yeah, it's called Pickle. Then I used a different yarn because I want to make something else. I used Katia, a velvet yarn, and I used Little Darling for a little turtle. I already had one from last time and now I have a second one. Aren't they adorable? I really like how they turned out. They're so cute and soft. They're so cuties. Yay! I have 2 of them and I want to make more, but I don't know when. I used Little Darling and Katia velvet yarn. It's yarn for, I think, 2.5, 3.5. They're for small hooks. Yeah, turned out really cute. Halfway through the week I started a new project, but I already frogged it. I started Black Charizard, but I thought I was having too many projects laying around, too many big ones. So I frogged it and I'm going to maybe do it later. I'm not sure when I'm going to start on it. And as last project of the week, I started on the blanket. This is the yarn I'm using. It's acrylic. It's a dark reddish color. It's a great color. When I started this week, I was at week 9. I finished that.
Hello, I'm Sarah from Me Crochet, and I just took a shower, had dinner, and it's not the end of the week, but I took a little break from filming. I did a lot of stuff, but I'm going to show you that later on, or maybe in a later video. But I grabbed my blanket and I'm going to work on week 10 or start on week 10. And I hope I can finish it this week, but we'll see. I'm going to start on it for the rest of the night. I hope it will turn out great and I hope I can get really far. I will update you on how far I got. Bye.
And I also started on week 10 and I also finished that this week. So I did a really great job at finishing up the blanket. I only have to do week 11 and then I can start on the border. So I'm really happy with that. And I hope I can finish it very soon. I really hope so. Because the blanket is really far in the process. Yeah, it's really far. It's almost finished. Yay! I'm so happy I'm at week 11. Yay! At the end of the week I did some filming, video editing. I uploaded a new video on YouTube. I also typed out 2 patterns in English, so they are done. I typed out a mouse, number 3, because I have 3 mouses already, different ones, so I have another one. And I have typed out Agent S from Animal Crossing. I typed that pattern out. Was a big pattern, but I finished it, and now I have to do 2 more, and then I'm going to see what I do with the patterns. I don't know what I'm going to do with the patterns just yet. Maybe some on Etsy, maybe some on my website. I'm not sure. I have to figure something out. But I really want to use them for something so that you can use them as well for projects. And if you have questions, then I can help. I really want to do that. So I finished 2. I have 2 more patterns to type out, an anime doll outfit and a bear. And then I have all the patterns typed out in Dutch and English. So I will be almost done with the patterns. Yay! That's all I did for crocheting this week, crochet related stuff. I hope you like this kind of content. I hope you subscribe, and I see you next time. It's a new week, week 3 of May. I'm going to show you all I've made from last week. So let's get started. In the beginning of the week I started a fairy from this book of magazine. This guy I finished. Flower fairies, they're very cute, and I started it this week. Then I continued on Ivysaur's leaves. This is left over from the leaves. I finished 6, 7 and 8, and then I had later on assembled everything, but this is the yarn. The first project I finished was a week challenge. I said to myself I'm going to make another orange bunny. And I did that, so that's the first project I finished. And after that I made another one, so I have 3 that I said I wanted to make. So the orange bunnies are finished and I can start on the green. I'm really happy with that, but I didn't use a yarn label. I will leave the patterns in the description if you want to know where they're from. I finished them. I have an orange bunny. Aren't they adorable? This is the yarn left over, no yarn label, soft fun, and an orange yarn. Really pretty color. After assembling the leaves, I started crocheting the nails of Ivysaur with this yarn, white. It's called Snow, I think. Yeah, it's called Snow, so white for the nails. I did the sewing part later that day. Also did the felt part. And I did something crazy. I finished him! Isn't it adorable? I really like him. It's huge. It's very huge. But I finished him. He's so cute. I really like the bottom. It's butt, flower, ears with face. It's so adorable. I took, I think, a month. I'm not sure. I started, I think, in April or before that. I think it was April. But I finished him. Yay! That's the second one I made from Ivysaur, just like I did with the Bulbasaurs. And I'm not gonna do that with Venusaur, I think. I'm not sure. But I will try and figure out another project I want to do from Pokemon. That will be for later. But I finished Ivysaur! Yay! After that I continued on the fairy. And I finished him! Isn't it adorable? I really like him. I crocheted the hair myself because you had to use special yarn and I didn't have that. So I designed the hair myself. It's really cute. Really like it. It's adorable with its feet. Yeah, I really like him. And I like it this way better. So now it's a plushie. I like it how it is right now. Yeah, I like it. I use this one for the legs. I use this one for the outfit. I use this one for the hair. And this one for the skin. And for the wings I use soft fun because you had to use a different yarn. I use soft fun for that. This is Katona. really like this yarn very much, but you had to use a bigger yarn for the wings, so I did that. I had one yarn label used from the red, and that's going in the basket for the end of the year. This is the yarn label from the week before. I finished the birds, and this is from the light blue scrap yarn. I forgot to show you Ivysaur's yarn. I used rose for the flower, bright turquoise for the body, pickle for the leaves, and snow for the nails. I used a lot of yarn for Ivysaur. I'm gonna count them. I used 3 yarn labels for rose for the flower. I used 5 bright turquoise and for the body and head and ears and stuff. So a lot of yarn for that. And I used 4 for pickle. So I used 12 yarn labels in total for Ivysaur. That's a lot of yarn for a big project. But I finished it and I'm happy with the results. So these are going in the basket for the end of the year, and we're going to see how much I've used. After the fairy, I continued on my blanket. I'm at week 11. For this week I had to finish week 10, but I already finished that last week. So I'm far ahead. I have to finish week 10 this week, but I am at week 11. I have yarn used and I have to do 10 rows, and then the main blanket is done and I can start on the border. So I'm really far with this project as well. And this is acrylic. Then I started on these. I have 2 and I have 4 in total. Look at them, I have 4. Aren't they adorable? I really like them. They're so cute. Oh, so adorable. And I think I can make one more with the yarn, with the velvet yarn. I hope so. I am going to try that out later, but that will be another project I want to try. I have enough for the shell part, but I don't think I have enough for the body. But I'm going to try with this velvet yarn, Little Darling and Katja. That's what I'm going to do. Then I have a new project for my niece that I want to crochet, a little plushie, a bunny. And these are the yarn I'm using. Amy for the head and the ears, and the pink for acrylic for the blanket. So I'm going to combine these two. So it's going to be cute. Yay! I'm going to try on that, and I hope today, but we'll see. I have a lot to do, a lot to crochet, a lot of ideas. So if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. It's a new week and I'm going to show you all I've made from last week. So let's get started. The first project I started this week was a bunny, and I also finished it straight away. So cute. And it's going to my niece. Yeah, I really like it. So first project started, first project finished. Then I started on the blanket and I am at week 11. So I continued on that, and later on in the week I finished that. So week 11 is finished of the blanket, and I can start on week 12. And I can start on the border, so that's really good. I'm really happy with that because the border is almost at the end of the blanket, so it's still a lot of work, but it's making a lot of progress, so I'm really happy with that. Then I made one turtle from this velvet yarn. I used all of the Little Darling light green, and I still have a little bit of the Katja green left, but very little. And this is number 5 from the turtles, and this is the last one. It's very cute. I really like it. And it's the last one I could make out of the yarn. So cute. Then I continued on the blanket a lot. Finished week 12, the border of week 12, and I can start on the rest of the border in week 13, but that will be for later. So I finished week 11 and week 12 in week 11, so I have 2 weeks to finish week 13, so that's good. I'm at week 13, yay! From the same pattern as the fluffy turtle, I made more little scrap yarn turtles. I made this guy. This is number 5 of the tiny ones. And I made number 6. Also totally different because of the yarn. It's mixed yarn, so I don't do the color change myself. It's in the yarn. And it's really cute. They're very tiny and cute. 5 and 6. And after that I made number 7. I really like how it turned out. It's really cute. Really like this guy, number 7. So I have an army of turtles at the moment. Yay! They're so cute. And after that, after turtle number 7, I decided to start a own design project, my own sketchbook. I decided to make my sketch in a plushie form. So I can't show you the progress just yet, but I'm going to show you the yarn I'm using. This is the blue I'm using for the body. And it was a new ball of yarn, so I used up a lot of blue yarn already. I have this green for the rest of the body, and I still have to do that part, so it's a new ball of yarn. And the black for the details of the plushie. So I don't think I need a lot of this yarn, very little for the details. So those are the colors I'm using for this project. But I'm going to show you when it's finished, of course. Yay, I'm really happy how it's turning out. So you have to wait, sorry. And we're going to start on a new week challenge. I have this scrap yarn, it's a light gray, and I thought, why not make a cute little hippo? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that with this yarn. I think it's a great color, it's acrylic, and I have it as scrap yarn and I want to use it up. And it's fluffy, soft for a cute plushie. I have this book, Amigurumi Cijfers and Letters. That's how it's called in Dutch. And it has the alphabet in pillows, but also tiny plushies in the book. And I'm going to make the hippo out of this book. I am going to make this cute little guy. Isn't it adorable? I really like it. I hope I have enough yarn, but I'm going to try and see how it goes. But that will be the next week challenge. It's so adorable. So cute. But from this book, it's a Dutch book. I don't know if it's in English. I don't know. I got a comment on my stitch markers in my plushies. And I use the plastic ones to hold my project together, that it doesn't go loose. But I don't use them for counting. I use little yarn scraps for that. I do them in between the rows, so I can see where I start and end the row. And it builds up when you go up in a project and you can see all the rows. So when you make a mistake, it's very easy to see where the mistake is, and you don't have to frog or rip your entire project apart. So it's very handy if you want to use that kind of style stitch marker, but you can also use the plastic ones, also very useful. In the last video I finished Ivysaur. So it's really weird that that project is finished. but I have to look up a new big project or a project about Pokemon or something like that. I'm not sure which one just yet. I want to finish the blanket before I start Black Charizard. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm not sure which projects will be coming next or coming more. Right now I have an army of turtles. They're very cute. Very cute. If you want to see more of this kind of content, you can like, subscribe, and I see you next time. It's a new week and I'm going to show you all I've made from last week, so let's get started. The first thing I did was starting on week 13 of the blanket. I am a bit ahead because I finished week 12 in week 11, so I am hopefully finishing this blanket in week 12, so 1 week earlier than before. But I started on week 13 on the border and I continued on it later on. In the video before I showed you the yarn from this project, and I'm working on my own design, and this is Katona. I used the blue, green and black for it, and I had a new ball of yarn green, but I used it halfway through, so I used a lot of yarn for this project, but not as much as I thought. So I am going to show you what I've made. Look at this cute bird. It's my own pattern. Isn't it adorable? I really like it. It's wings on its back. It's so cute. I really like it. It's so cutie. It's so cutie. It's so cute. Really like it. This is my own pattern and I will have to type out the pattern, but I will do that later. Isn't it adorable? I really like it. So cute. My own pattern bird. That was the first project finished. Then I started on the week challenge and I started on the gray yarn and I used it up for the hippo. I didn't have enough. I had a little bit less for the arms and I had to use a different scrap yarn to finish the hippo, but it turned out very cute. I really like it. It has a little floppy tail and it's so cute. It's so cute. Yay. I still have some yarn left because it's an other scrap. I had a lot of this yarn left, but I used a little bit on the arms and the rest is all the other scrap yarn that I used up. Very cute. I really like it. And it can sit up, so it can sit on its own if you lay it on a flat surface. So cute. And I couldn't help myself because I have more yarn. I made more turtles. Yay! I made more of them. And I can still make more of them because the yarn is still not used up. So we're gonna make more. And this is a pattern from DIY Fluffies online, a free pattern. So if you want to check that out, you can do that. I will leave the patterns in the description. And the hippo was from the book Amigurumi Ciphers and Letters. It's a Dutch book. I don't know if it's in English, but that was the pattern designer has Crystal Crooked from the hippo. And then I did something very crazy because at the end of the week I finished the blanket. I finished it. I finished a huge blanket. It's very huge. I can't show it on camera very much. I know people show blankets when they roll them up and then let them fall downwards. Maybe I'm going to do that, but not in this video. So I will show you that maybe later on. But this is the border I did. Very neat. Very pretty. Really like how the blanket turned out. So really happy with that. Don't know what I'm going to do with the blanket. I don't think I'm going to start another project like this, but I did use a lot of yarn on this project. I'm going to show you all the yarn labels I've used. And I still have some yarn left from the blanket that I'm going to use for a different project. But it's very big and very pretty. This is the yarn left over. And it's acrylic. It's really pretty red. Really great for Christmas color. Maybe I'm going to use the blanket for Christmas. I'm not sure just yet. But this is the yarn left over. I used 16 yarn labels for the blanket. Very good. 16, that's a lot of yarn. And I used a solid color, so if you do multiple colors, you will probably have more left over, but I used a solid color, so I have less scraps, so I'm happy with that. I did more. I couldn't stop crocheting after the blanket. I picked this yarn, Sweet Treat, for 1.5, 1.25. It's a great yarn for small hooks, and I'm making a dino from Pick-a-Pow number 3, I think. It's from Pick-a-Pow number 3. I have one already used up a lot, and this is the dino I'm working on. It's very far already. I can start on the body, then do the legs, and at the end the tail, and then it's finished. I hope to be able to crochet on it tonight, but I'm not sure. I hope to be able to finish the body tonight, but we'll see. And that's all I did from last week. I have to grab a new week challenge from my bags. I don't know which project I'm going to pick, but we'll see what it will be next time. So if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe, like, and I see you next time. It's the end of the month, and I'm going to show you all I've made in May 2026. So let's get started. The first project I finished was this cute little bird, and it's from Amigurumi Vogels. It's like amigurumi birds. It's a very great and cute. It was my week challenge, so you can finish it in 1 week. It's a very cute birdie in blue. I used scrap yarn for this project as well, and some soft fun for the dark blue and details. So my first project was this cute little bird. Well, not little, but cute bird. Cutie! Then after the bird I had some scrap yarn left over, and I made another week challenge for 2 tiny birds. Also used soft fun for the small details. And I wanted to make the wings in the same color as the first one, but I didn't have enough yarn, so I used up the scrap yarn and I used soft fun for the wings of the second one. And these make 3 projects finished for this month. And these are from the book Mini Vogeltjes haken. Also like mini birds crochet. Something like that. I think it's in English as well, but I don't know the name. I will leave all the patterns in the description, but I am from the Netherlands, so I have Dutch books. I can read English patterns, and I have also English patterns in my descriptions, but some are in Dutch. Then I finished 3 orange bunnies from my rainbow bunnies. I'm working on a rainbow of bunnies, and I am now at the color green, so I can start on that. I finished the orange ones, and I used soft fun for this, and I have some yarn left over. You can make a fort with the yarn, and then the yarn is used up, but I didn't do that. I kept it with 3. Then I did something very crazy. Yeah, I did. This month is crazy with projects because I finished Ivysaur. Isn't it adorable? It's very big. Yeah, it's very big. Really like it. But I finished Ivysaur. Yay! I think I started in April on this project and I finished it in May. So it took a lot of time to make this project. It's my own pattern, so you can make it yourself if you want, but you have to contact me for that. After Ivysaur, I did a little bit of a smaller project. I finished this fairy with its wings, and you could make it the wings like harden it, but I didn't do that. I kept them like they are and they bend a little, but you can make them hard. And this is the fairy. Very cute. I designed the hair myself because you had to use a special yarn. I didn't have that, so this is from a magazine, Flower Fairies, Simply Crochet, I think. I will leave it in the description. But I designed the hair myself because you had to use a different yarn. I didn't have that, and I used Katona for this project. So very great yarn. And saffron for the wings. I use a lot of saffron and Katona and I combine the two. And I also use acrylic a lot, but most of the yarn I use is cotton or saffron, I think. Yeah, I use a lot. Very cute. Then I finished the bunny for my niece. Isn't it adorable? I really like it. It's so cute. And I used Amy, very great yarn for this. And this is a Nijntje pattern. And I used a Granny-square pattern from a book for the blanket. The Nijntje pattern is free in Dutch. It's a Dutch pattern. And the Granny-square is from book Granny-square Bijbel, haken. I don't know. I will leave the patterns in the description. So you can make it yourself if you have the books, or you can look up the patterns. But this is the bunny I finished. Very cute, and it's going to my niece. I made a special bird pattern. It's my own pattern. I made a new design. It's very cute. I really like it. And birdie, yay. Chirpy. I think I'm going to call him Chirpy. I think it's cute for this bird. Yeah, Chirpy. And I also used Katona for that project. Then I finished another week challenge, a hippo. I used all of the light gray and I used a little bit of a darker gray for the arms because I didn't have enough scrap yarn. But I wanted to finish the hippo, so I did. And this is another week challenge I finished this month. And it turned out very cute. I really like it. And the last project of this month that I finished is, of course, the blanket. It's a huge project and it's very pretty. Border and the pattern, it's very pretty. I really like it. Very beautiful acrylic color. Yeah, I like it. I used 16 yarn labels for this project and that's a lot of yarn. But the yarn labels are always going in the basket for the end of the year to see how much yarn I've used at the end of the year. So if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Bye!